Hey everybody, my name is Sherry. I'm an adult with ADHD. This is in the evening of day 21. Next week I start working again. My hand's shaking. I just had some coffee. It's just about time for dinner. Did I have coffee this late? Uh-oh. I hope I'm not up too late. But yeah, I've had a really productive day. I'm going to do a longer video in a few minutes. I'm going to go eat some dinner. The charts that I started working on earlier this week, I have filled out Monday and Tuesday, and I can start to fill out Wednesday. So at least maybe by tomorrow, I'll be able to show you what they look like partially filled up and how I can see my progress. But basically after this week, I know that I'm getting close enough to the 30 days, so I probably won't continue. I don't know. It's kind of not like tremendously fun content, so I don't know if that's something that's interesting to you or not. I'm thinking I might start doing lives in the morning, and maybe if you guys want to do your morning routine with me, or I don't really know what you guys want to see yet. If you want to do ADHD content like body doubling and whatnot, it's getting dark out. I can't believe how dark it gets so early now. Where I live, it starts getting dark at like 4:30. And right now, what time is it? It is, I can't even believe it's 5:20 in the evening. But it feels like 9. It feels like 9 p.m. So, I wanted to just come on and elaborate what I tried today a little bit. I'm just going to sit here at my vanity table. Look at my pretty lights. So pretty. Little fairy lights, little lights to cheer me up. The lighting in here is not terribly great. I could turn that light on, but it's like yellowy. What was I going to tell you? What was I going to tell you? Oh, so Monday, that was day 20. I started off the day really good. I woke up early. When Curtis kissed me to kissed me to say goodbye to go to work, I got up. I started doing things super early, but I guess I did not go to bed early, or I can't remember what the situation was, if I didn't get much sleep, but I was really tired. And, I thought, if I just record myself starting, I'm going to just keep going and it's going to be great. And then very shortly after I filmed that, I started, my breakfast, and I had some coffee, and I spaced out very shortly after that. So the 2 goals that I set for myself, to clean that section of the room and to make the phone call, I didn't do. And today, my goal before I woke up for today is, I'm like, okay, well, I'm trying to do too many things in the morning. Maybe if I just go straight from eat breakfast to shower and get ready, maybe I can be ready earlier instead of like wasting the whole day, right? And then I don't know what happened. I just decided, why don't I just not sit? Because it's when I sit down to drink my coffee and relax and kind of wake up, or on my breaks, that all of a sudden I go into la la land. So what I did this morning is, as soon as I woke up, I'm like, that's it. I'm just going to turn on some tunes. Turned on a song. I think I looked up Sia, Cheap Thrills, and it just started playing random music that I liked. And I used the YouTube music app, and did the Bluetooth with my speaker. And I thought, you know what, even if I'm walking around the house slowly while I eat my breakfast or stand still, I'm just not going to sit. And that kind of sucked, because I wanted to sit and eat my breakfast. And we have such a small space that we don't really use the kitchen table. Is that light like glaring? All right. We don't really use the kitchen table. I have a big area to clean out over there before I really want to sit there. It's so cluttery. So I haven't cleaned out that corner. But today I wasn't even going to do any cleaning. And I ended up doing all of that and then some. I started doing my mom's laundry. Actually, I have some to swap right now. Everything that I said a little while ago. I did not vacuum. I did that yesterday. Vacuum the house. It was either yesterday or Sunday. I can't remember. What else? But yeah, what ended up happening is yesterday when I was sitting there and I was drinking my coffee after I ate my breakfast. Of course, I haven't put away my beading stuff, so it's sitting there and it's tempting. And I saw all those pretty beads and I started looking up qualities of the different beads, the different gemstones. And I'm like, ooh, let me just make this. Oh, I had these beads set aside. I'm going to make these bracelets. Let me just do a couple. I started that new chart I showed you. I'm sorry, my hand's shaking. I should go eat. I started a new chart just to be able to see this week how, like, what and how am I using my time? How am I losing time? When am I losing time? And I pretty much knew it's when I sit down to eat. When I sit down to eat breakfast or lunch is when I space. And then once I've been sitting there for a few minutes or like 20 minutes, that's when I start to fall asleep and my desire to do stuff is gone. I just don't care anymore. I'm like, I'm so tired. So yesterday when I was beading, I turned on some YouTube videos and I was watching some spiritual stuff that was very calming, and I did light some incense and I had some candles. I've been trying to, bring in some extra energy for myself because I've been so depressed for so long that I need to shake that up. Even if I'm not cleaning every single day, even if it's taking forever to clean the place out or I don't clean it out this week, I at least want to be doing something small for myself to get me to enjoy being here and want to get up. So after I was doing some beading, I totally lost time. And it felt like I was doing it for maybe half an hour tops. And I had been writing the time for each thing I was doing. So at least I did that. And so that was valuable because it felt tedious. It felt like, I'm going to time everything again. Why are you doing this? This isn't helping you. Now you're going to spend all your time writing every little thing. But I saw exactly when I spaced, and it's when I started beading. And I saw that I was doing it for like 3 hours and 40 minutes, I think. And so the day before, on Sunday, I started doing my morning routine at 9. And yesterday I started at 7 a.m. So that was pretty good, right? But with that, losing 3 hours and 40 minutes in between because I just couldn't resist and my ADHD brain went, sparkly shiny thing, and then I'm like, oh, I can't stop, this is amazing, and got all excited and lost time. And I'm kind of mad at myself, but at the same time, this is why I'm doing it, like writing all this stuff down. And then I did get back on track. And it's ironic that when I looked at the time I was done with my tasks, it was around the same time as the day before. I'll have to look. I think it was like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, maybe. And then today, I think I started at 8. And I'm like, just don't sit. Whatever you do, don't sit. And it's funny, I've seen this before and I laugh at it, but I don't know if I've tried it. I might have tried it. Oh my God, I wanted to sit so bad. I was so tired. And I realized the entire morning, even with my ADHD pills, even with my antidepressant pills, all I wanted to do was sleep. So every time I wanted to sit, I had the tunes on, so that kind of raised my dopamine and it made me, and then I thought to myself, okay, well, you don't like to do the chores. Nobody likes to do the chores, but it's not fair for me to expect my fiance to do it because he works a lot, right? All our relationships are all different. Everyone's relationship and how they divide up who does what, it's so individual. You might have like a cultural expectations on gender, like as far as like who does what. But in my relationship, I'm here a lot more than he is. And I've been taking a break from working to get better. I do feel a lot better. I don't feel as good as I used to, but I can tell I feel a lot better than I did 3 or 4 months ago when I started this break. I was not okay. Not okay. Not okay at all. And I'm like scared. I'm scared to go back to work next week. I am. And it kills me because I don't understand ADHD and autism. Like, how does working 1 to 2 days a week burn me out? Even though I logically know, and my friend Jen had told me about a study that shows if you're a woman, I don't know what it has to do with being a woman. I think I don't know. I don't know if it's the cultural conditioning to be caring. I mean, both men and women, we have some of the same qualities. There are some differences, and this is generalizing. This isn't true for everybody, right? But I don't remember what the study said. Something like the more neurotypical interactions you have with neurotypical people throughout your day, which if I work cashiering is all day. Every day I work, all day, hundreds of people. And so you're masking, even though I'm very good at it and I don't know when I'm masking and when I'm being me. All I know is I feel like myself. I'm definitely being genuine with how I care about people, but I definitely know how to do the dance that is the small talk that a lot of neurodivergent people don't like. I think of it as just like entertaining as part of, I'm just going through the motions in a way. I'm sincere, but I'm not. I don't know if it's just like all the years of practice. I know how to kind of like let it roll, and I can kind of space a little bit on autopilot while I'm doing it sometimes. It's tough. I think retail is draining for everyone, especially now. After COVID, I feel like a lot of businesses have, although I feel like, in some way the economy has started to get better. Prices are still up at the grocery stores. Things haven't completely gone back. Luckily, we don't have, I can't believe it's 2024. In another month, it's going to be 2025. I feel like this year has gone by super fast. What did I want to tell you? I did want to tell you how today was different. Now, my counselor I still haven't been able to find it. I have that grid. I have 2 grids on my phone somewhere to show you. One is and I do want to go over that on another video soon, to just do a quick video just on prioritization, because we don't have the executive functioning. So it's cognitively exhausting because we are not as much an autopilot. Like it's harder for us to develop habits. At least, I don't know if it's the same thing if you just have autism as it is if you have ADHD or both. I know with ADHD, one of the things that I've learned recently is there's another part in your brain that has special neurons that are for building habits, for making things autopilot. You know, the menial stuff like making coffee, putting your cereal in a bowl, getting ready for work, like all of these things, like all of these steps, it takes your brain cognitively, it costs your brain energy to have to think of it every single time. So it has that part for forming the habits, right? And I have to figure out where I found that so that I could put a link to show you guys. But apparently, if you do have ADHD, which I do, you have less. You have less of them. I know I've mentioned it before, but I don't remember on what videos and what shorts I've discussed what. So if I happen to mention things more than once, it's okay, because people aren't going to watch all my content, especially the long form that's like really long. And especially when I was at my worst, it's not exciting, fun things to watch. You know, it's me struggling and sharing my journey, and while I'm struggling. So I'm having a hard time on those videos, even expressing myself, thinking straight to make the video. So, I mean, I cringe. But long story short, yes, we have a hard time making habits. And I think that's why, you know, I have this planner, you know, and I used to have another method here. Did I find it? I did find one. And here, let me swap this. So we're in a new month. And the way I used to have my system before I actually had a planner book, I really have to paint these walls, is that I would have my wall calendar where I would write all my appointments. And I had two sheets. I had one up here that had the goals, and it was, I would just cross them off as I did, the to-do list. And then this, I would have like, this you can tell is where I used to tape it. So taking the tape off of the wall, just ripped the paint off. This, I have a printout. I have a printout that I've made in the past. So if you don't want to use a book and you want a printout, if you don't want to use a planner book and it's complicated and it's a big pain in the neck, I'm going to be showing you that other one because I might switch to that. I forget what I was just saying. At the end of this week, I'm going back to work, and I think I'm just going to wrap up the 30-day thing. I mean, today's 21. What's it, Tuesday? So Wednesday is, hold on. Where are we? Today is Tuesday the 3rd. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. It's going to be so close. It's like 27, 28. If I keep going on the weekends, I don't know. So either this week or next week, I'll be done with the 30-day. I might come back to that later on another time, but right now I'm kind of over it. I'm bored. And I don't know how useful. That was kind of torturous. There was a whole lot of stuff. I don't know if it was useful for anyone at all. At all. And I think now that I have the ability to go live, I haven't started yet. I know I was going to start last week, and I don't remember what came up. I think getting ready for the holidays and Thanksgiving got in the way. I can't remember how many days ago it was. I'll have to check. The one where I was like singing like a crazy person. So yeah, tomorrow morning, if I don't do it tonight, tomorrow morning I will take a quick video to show you my chart. I'm going to fill in for the last couple days, the one that everything's all in the same week. I just posted it. It's only a minute long, the one I showed you. And I'm going to show you that with, you saw it. Actually, that was a video just before this one. You saw it empty. And since then, I have filled out Sunday and Monday. And I can't remember if I did yesterday. So by tomorrow, I will have today, which is, wait, today's Tuesday. So I did Sunday and Monday. I had that filled out. I'll feel it in tomorrow. I will fill in today's. I'm tired. My brain's like, yeah, I'm not doing anything anymore. But I feel really good. I know not to get my hopes up too much. I was excited that I found something that works today. One thing that's really a bummer, well, there's a lot of things that's a bummer about having ADHD. I mean, other people struggle with these things too. It's just with our issues with poor working memory. Working memory is, remembering what you have to do that day or something you did a minute ago. It's not the memories you have growing up. It's not all the other memories. It's just like you get to the store and you're like, why did I come here? What am I going to get? Those things. Like when you go outside and you go to leave and maybe you put your mug on the top of your car and then you drive off and the mug's on the top of the car. So that's working memory. So we have issues with working memory. And this is generalizing too, because ADHD, like autism, is a spectrum where you have, where maybe some people, they have it a little bit and it's a little bit of an inconvenience, but they find ways around it and they may never know they even have it. And to where I've been the past couple months non-functional, but I'm getting back to that now. I'd like to find out and learn what it is about ADHD and autism the burnout, it's like you're physically ill. I felt like once my leave of absence started, I don't think I even was able to get out of bed for a week. It was bad, man. It was bad. It was bad. With depression, it very, very, if you have depression or someone you know has depression, before you take medication for it, with your serotonin levels in so I have an SSRI I take, and the other one does dopamine and something else. That's bupropion. That's Wellbutrin. And that's why sometimes they use it with ADHD. I can't remember what the other neurochemical it is that it boosts. I'll have to look at it. But anyone who has depression, major depression, who has taken antidepressants and were shocked to see they went from physically not being able to move when it's very bad and you can't think straight and your body is on a lump and you can lay there for hours and you don't even know the time went by because your brain chemical levels are so low that you don't even have the physical energy to get up. And it's not in your head. It's just your brain chemicals. You need them. And I don't think that people who don't struggle with this understand those chemicals. You take them for granted because you have a certain amount that you can just get up and do stuff. And imagine if you had a car and then all of a sudden it didn't have enough gas. No matter how much gas you tried to put in it, it just didn't fill it and it couldn't go very far or at all. That's what a body and a brain's like. That's what your physical body feels like too. It's very shocking. It was very shocking to me when I first started taking antidepressants, which was 2009 maybe. So it was like 15 years ago. And I would come home from work and I was so physically exhausted that I would just kind of collapse into bed, which was like a futon at the time. And I didn't move. And somebody would come and get me like the next day and it would turn out like I didn't move. And I had no idea how much time had gone by. Yeah, it's like I'm losing time now, but it's not the same. I can't even explain it, but that part when you start taking the medicine, if you get the right medicine, and all of a sudden you have the energy to even do pick up the clothes for one load of laundry, let alone bring it downstairs or put it in the wash. When you're in that place, it's like, it's just so daunting. Even the thought of walking into the next room to take a shower would be so overwhelming. The work I would have to do to get, like, that's how heavy your body feels. Like, it feels, I can't explain it. If you haven't felt it, I can't even explain it. It's horrible. When you're in it, you can't even think straight. You're so exhausted. Your brain's going like mud. It's terrible. So being an ADHD burnout, an autism burnout, I think I have both. I'm not sure yet. I'm not going to get into a long thing each time. I know I mentioned things more than once, but looking at my analytics tells me that a lot of the people that watch my videos are like 90% of the people that watch each video have not seen my channel before. So you might see me mentioning things more than once. So bear with me, because it may reach people who it hasn't before, and it might be helpful. But yeah, this last 3 to 4 months, it's been like an additional month, it's been the equivalent of starting to take antidepressants if you haven't before. And all of a sudden your body starts to kind of wake up a little bit. And it's shocking, because we think of depression as sadness, right? If you haven't had it, you think of it as sadness and crying. That the word depression makes you think sadness, but it's, and you do have more than that, more of that as well. When mine was really bad, I was starting to have ending things thoughts, and that's why I had to get help the first time. And a relative of mine had said to me, "You're young. You're going to have a short life if you need to get help." So I had to, and I was against taking medicine. And you know what? That might have been the single best thing I've ever done in my life. Yeah. For me, in my situation, in my particular brain chemistry, in my particular case of depression, in my brain chemistry. For somebody else, their depression may be completely different. Maybe medicine doesn't help them, or maybe they're not on the right one, or maybe they don't have the right dose. I don't know. Everybody is different. Everyone's brain chemistry is different, you know? And I am kind of going off topic, but it's important. It's important. When I first crashed, like, I tried to give my boss an extra 2 weeks before starting my leave of absence, and I couldn't even make it. After 1 week, my body wouldn't get up to go to work, and I was just crying, or I couldn't move. I was physically exhausted. You know, like you're coming out of a flu. Your whole body feels like shit. You feel sick. You feel sick. I was physically sick. And I feel like all I did was rest and sleep for the first week. And I wasn't bouncing back like I did when I was younger and when I'm healthy. And I don't understand it. I don't understand why our body, everyone can get burnout, right? But something about, so when you're masking, it's like a conditioned way of behaving. You've been conditioned since you were a child of what's acceptable and what's not. So you kind of go through the motions and you behave a certain way. And that's why they call it masking. You're putting on a mask. But you're not, like, you're stopping yourself from rambling. You're nervous that you're not going to say the right thing. And so you put in, even on the best days, you don't realize how much energy you're expending because you're acting in a way that is not natural for you. So even though when I have people I love around me and I get to know people, I talk a lot. I get so excited to see them that, I want to hear what's going on and how they're doing. Yeah. When I'm at work, after I work one day, and it's been this way for years. After I work one day, I'm like in bed the whole next day. Like I can't move. I'm so fucking tired. And it's I would think I was a baby. I would think, oh, I'm feeling sorry for myself. Why are you in bed all day? And I didn't know I was burning out. So I'm so scared to go back there, guys. I'm so scared. I know that I'm going back to work one day a week, which sucks. I feel like, what is wrong with you? Oh, I'm so mean to myself. I'm so mean to myself because I know I'm capable of like so much. So I don't understand it. And yeah, there is the potential for overextending yourself if you have ADHD anyways, when you hyperfocus. One of my ways, I think I developed this kind of like people who are neurodivergent, you are higher percentage of a chance to have a coexisting comorbidity of depression, anxiety, what have you, OCD. And I don't know if they've done the studies to show if it's in response to coping, which if you add up all the failures of you're trying so hard and you can't do the grades and you can't get the homework assignments done and you're struggling and throughout your whole life, by the time you're an adult, you're fucking tired. You're tired and you have like this wake of failures and you don't know why, but it feels that way to you. And yes, it helps when you get diagnosed so you understand why. I still struggle with accepting it because I know I can do so much. And that's the whole thing, is that you want to have balance. You have to learn not to give 110% of yourself, And I think maybe my way of overcompensating or compensating for I assume I'm gonna, because it's so hard for me to stay focused and on task when I'm at work, that I'm constantly redirecting myself, that within the first 20 minutes to half an hour, I'm already fried. I already was like, what's going on now? And then I go through it. And then the socializing. And I love the people I meet. And I am genuine with how much I really care about people. But it eats me up. But I can't imagine having a life without being in touch with people. As much as I am introverted, and I'm wondering how my outer personality would be if I never took retail jobs. Because that's on and off my entire adult life. I've been doing that since I was 19, 20, and I just turned 50. That's 30, not straight through, because there were blocks of time where I wasn't working, And that's another thing that was really sad when looking back, that I was just against antidepressants. I didn't think they were necessary. I thought, this is ridiculous. Everybody's on medication. It scared me. I don't want to be dependent on drugs, and I don't want it to make me a zombie. And it doesn't at all. It does the opposite. It makes me alert. The ADHD meds actually calm me down. Is when I can't think straight. The anxiety comes and I'm just agitated. I'm on edge because I'm trying so hard and it's like slipping through my fingers, like water. You're trying to hold water and it's just slipping through. Like I don't have that might not be a good analogy, but that's what it feels like trying to hold water in your hand or something. It's just not going to happen. And somehow inside of me, I feel like if I try hard enough, I'm not going to accept less, and I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to force it to happen. I think that that has maybe helped me to get through difficult situations in my life. But I'm learning that that has become an ingrained maladaptive coping skill that I've developed that probably worked when I had traumas or sudden changes in my life that I didn't know how to cope with and I was going to fall apart. And maybe like that being borderline abusive to myself was a way to keep me from falling apart. But it's kind of counterproductive to learning about yourself as a neurodivergent. Trying to force myself to be neurotypical isn't going to happen, right? And you don't realize that's what you're doing. You're just mad at yourself for not being able to be on time and not understanding why you're spacing out while you're trying to get ready. And it doesn't seem that complicated. It feels like the last 2 years of learning about autism and all this other stuff about ADHD that I never knew, it's just been taking that long for me to actually absorb it and integrate it. It's one thing to learn and another thing to identify when you're doing the things, like when you're losing time, when you're spacing out. Why is it happening? What can you control? I think the hardest thing for me is learning what is healthy as far as expectations, because I never want to give up. But the anxiety I give myself is absolutely draining and exhausting, and being in a constant state of anxiety or fear. I mean, I was getting to the point that every time I was getting ready for work, my stomach was killing me. I was resenting it. I was going to snap at people. So it's kind of similar to regular people, neurotypical burnout, but for some reason it's worse. And I think it's because if you're neurotypical, that most of the people are neurotypical. So a lot of workplaces and companies and environments are designed with the rules and the social rules and expectations that are designed for you in the way you do things. And I'm not saying they're easy for anyone. You know, working all the hours we have to work, especially if you have kids and you're working multiple jobs, and you know, you have to be careful not to work yourself to the bone and end up in a hospital and you know what I mean? Like, no matter who you are, things are tough. I'm just very grateful I'm in the place I am right now, where my mom is still alive and I have somebody in my life who accepts me, and he hasn't left yet. You know, I keep thinking that eventually one of these days he might. And that's nothing that I've felt from him. I think that is my own negative feelings about myself. And my self-esteem hasn't been very good. There have been times in my life that I was able to start over sheer willpower and just turning into a bitch to myself inside. Like, that's it. No more screwing around or getting it. And I just think my symptoms over the years have gotten so bad that they've gotten so bad, guys. And I think it was the burnout, maybe, because I am subscribed to quite a few neurodivergent content creators, and If any of you guys watch this, thank you so much for being here. You've given me the courage to share my story, and I don't know if my story helps somebody, but maybe you didn't think that you were going to share yours, and you didn't think anybody was going to care, and you were like embarrassed too. And you didn't realize that somebody like me, I'm 50, and I'm a Gen Xer, and I was raised, conditioned to, don't be a baby, don't complain, don't feel sorry for yourself, just do it, just fucking do it. And it doesn't work. So what do I do all those years? I hold things inside. Because it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate to show weakness. It's not appropriate because other people have problems too. It's not fair for me to dump my problems on my family. And then, ironically, I got to the point that that's all I was doing because I was just like crying on the inside. I feel like I've been kind of emotionally and mentally imploding in a way just in the last like 3 or 4 years, maybe 4 or 5. Thank God for counseling. If any of you are out there and you're seeing this for the first time and you suspect that you might have something like ADHD, or maybe you struggle knowing the rules at work and you don't understand why every place you work, you don't want to socialize the way other people do, and you feel different, and you have sensitivities, and all you want to do is withdraw, and you think you might just be introverted, but still you feel different, I don't think it hurts you to learn about it. What's the worst that could happen? You learn something new. That doesn't mean that that's who you are. That doesn't mean that you're also neurodivergent. And if you are, you're not alone. And hopefully us all being here is kind of collectively like a community, and we can support one another, Before I started this channel, I have to say, just going into the comment sections of certain channels, like I think there's Musings of My ADHD Mind or something. She had a TikTok channel, and it was kind of freaky because she's almost exactly my age, and similar situation where I think she is both. I don't know. I don't know because I haven't heard her discuss what part of her she feels is more dominant, and mine might be completely different. I definitely have ADHD very, very, very much. More so than the people in the ADHD group that I attended. Anyone who lives in New England, comment to me. I do know about an ADHD group you can go to if you have certain health insurance, but it's, and luckily over the years they have merged with, bought, or however you want to call it, different hospital systems. So it's, somebody's saying hi to me and I don't know who that is. But it's widely available enough in New England that I don't think it would be too personal to share it. But I'm tired. It's 6 o'clock. I've been chatting for 44 minutes. 44! In a few, it's going to be 4444. I think 4 is like stability. I hope you guys are having a great week. And if you guys, any of you are struggling trying to come up with a routine and every day trying something else, comment. Because I really would love to start a dialogue about that, to see what works for other people. I know we're all different, but how are we going to find what works for us if we don't try different things, you know? I did not sit. Every time I wanted to sit, I don't even think I stood. I just slowly walked around while I was eating my cereal, and I'm like, I feel like a crazy person. But I cannot sit. I cannot sit. Not today. I'm going to try it. What could happen? If I get exhausted, I'll just freaking give up and take a nap. And then I learned something, right? Each one of these things are valuable. Each time you try, and I feel like I'm constantly trying new things. I will find something that works. And this is kind of discouraging. So don't get, it was like 45. If you get discouraged because you find something that works and you're like, yes, this is awesome. And then you do it for a week and all of a sudden it doesn't work as much anymore. And it suddenly is harder than it was. And you don't know why. It's part of God, I got to get this, guys. I have it somewhere and I have no idea. No, I'm not even going to wait. I'm going to post this today. I don't want to edit these. Because I'm wrapping this 30-day thing up. I'm wrapping this 30-day thing up. And this is good because it's been 2 months with the time, like the days in between that I've lost. I was going to do it consecutively on, straight through. Like each day was a different day number. But then I was like, no, I'm not going to count the weekends. I don't want to count a day that I'm not working towards my goals. And then the days got further and further apart as some other stuff came in. But I'm wrapping it up. I'm rambling. I'm feeling myself space. I'm going to go have some dinner. I hope you guys are doing great. Pop in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions. And let me know if there's anything specific you want to work on, because I am doing lives soon. And I know that people don't tend to tell you, but I would like to know what would be helpful. That way, it's not just like random people. Maybe some ADHD people will pop in. Or do you want the lives to be fun stuff? I'll tell you what. The first time I started seeing live streams and I started scrolling through it, it's like the Wild Wild West. There's some weird stuff. There's some weird stuff. Lives. I saw this one lady just like laying in bed putting lotion on her body, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that some people can do the live streams for sexy stuff. And I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to do. That's what you're looking for. This is not going to be that. This is not going to be that. You would, no. There's plenty of young, beautiful ladies out there. More than happy. I'm old and I just want to get out of bed on time and get my shit together and be functional again. I feel good about myself. I want to make money again. I want to find out something I can do. And I'm intelligent and I'm articulate. And this ADHD and autism stuff, it just F's everything up. And it's invisible. It's like this invisible thing. And it's like, I know it's there. I'm learning about it. But the thing that I use to think and discern when things are going wrong is the thing that's affected. But yeah. I know that some of you, if any of you still come on here that I met at work that are customers of mine, you will see me again. And at least for a little while. I don't plan on staying there very long, ideally. But and I haven't been giving my channel 100%. I haven't, because I'm still new. I'm still a little insecure. I don't know why. It's silly. I have a friend who's makes money doing this now. And I think I just saw today, she did 6 hours yesterday or today, and she did 6 hours the day before, live stream straight up. I don't know if you want to hear me rambling for 6 hours or chat with me for 6 hours. I don't know if I'm that interesting, but it could be fun. It could be fun. Let me know what you guys like and what you're interested in seeing or doing. If you want to do art, if you want to do ADHD content, if you want to do body doubling, and if there's anything in particular that you want me to talk about in any of these 30 days before I wrap it up, or if you have any ideas or anything you want me to try to see how it works, if you're trying to try something else. I can't think of anything else. I have a few days left. I have like a week left. I don't know if I don't really have to do the straight up the 30 days because I feel like I've learned enough. I'll still keep going for a little while. See what happens. But yeah, tomorrow morning, what I'll do, I keep saying I'm going to do something and then the next day happens and then I either completely forget I say I'm going to do something, like gone, or something else happens and I have to pivot and make something else a priority. So yesterday morning when I did that short video at like 7 a.m., I'm like, I'm going to clean that area and do the one phone call, and I didn't because I got sidetracked with beading, which I loved. I really did love that time doing that. There's something soothing, something very stimmy. I feel like I need art to do art and creative things for like my soul. So I know it's important too, but it's really hard to find balance when you lose time. And I did find something that did help me when I was younger and I was in college, and I knew, I don't know, was I diagnosed at that point? Maybe not. This might have been the first time I went to college. I didn't last very long because I had no idea I had ADHD, and I expected the same out of myself as every other student. So I was doing like full time and I crashed because that's actually typical if you have ADHD and you're not diagnosed. College is very, very executive functioning, task dominant. And we have issues, so yeah. And I had no idea. I felt like a loser because I didn't understand. I was like a kid. I didn't understand. Oh God. Ugh. I sympathize. I empathize. Anyone who's going through that, who's in the beginning of being diagnosed, and it's, you can reach out to me on here, honestly. I'm trying to figure out, I am in the US and I'm on Eastern Standard Time. I'm on the East Coast. As far as I don't know if I want to do my live streams in the afternoons. Like, I'm trying to figure out like how I'm going to schedule my days. I have to at least try. Now, I can't promise that I'm going to be able to be consistent because I'm very much, for those of you who have signed up for my, who subscribe to my channel that I've met through Genevieve's live streams, I'm very much like her, where I'm not going to be able to schedule an exact time. But because of my issues managing time, I still have to try. So I don't know if I want to do it in the morning and then do goals after. Or maybe one day a week we could do morning things. For those of you who struggle with morning routines, if you want, we can go through and do a live stream and talk about how to set up a morning routine or what works for you. I'm still struggling, but as long as you don't give up, stop for a week. If you feel like you're giving up and you need to stop because you're overwhelmed and everything's not working, take the time to recover, whatever it is. If you get that frustrated that you get worn out, don't keep doing it. But always have that desire to keep wanting to try new things. And as long as you periodically, you don't have to give 100% every single day. You can't. It's not healthy. So you can build in not just like weekends or days off. You can build in like bullshit days, like days that you get nothing done. Just know they're going to happen. Know you're going to have days where you're not going to be functional, and that's okay. maybe not okay when you're at work, because then you have to deal with that, the drama and all the stuff that goes with that. But yeah, lots to talk about. I might just do like, I don't know if I'll do one morning and one afternoon. I don't know. Oh, wow. 55 minutes. I was actually proud of myself. I'm like, I did 3 videos that were like 1 minute, 2 minutes long. That's pretty awesome. So these, I'm just wrapping up my thoughts for, what are we on, Tuesday? I wanted to see what I can get done earlier in the week, because I don't want to think about these things going forward anymore. I want to kind of somewhat clean up my space so that if I do live streams and I walk around my house with my camera, that it doesn't look like a shithole, that it's not embarrassing. I don't know what is realistic for me to try to accomplish in a couple days. And I don't want to stress about it, but I'm spacing. It's almost 6 p.m. I need to eat. And I will see you guys later. Have a good night. Sleep well. Bye.